Geir Lundestad, Secretary of the Norwegian Nobel Committee. Thank you very much for talking about the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. I think I'd describe the response to the announcement that Barack Obama was receiving the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize as a collective sharp intake of breath. Was that the sort of reaction you were expecting?
Well, we've had many reactions. We have had much approval. Many liked this decision. Many were surprised. And we'll see how this adds up as we have time to gather reactions from all over the world. But it's a wonderful situation to be in. I mean, reactions pour in from the entire world.
It certainly has. And President Obama is someone who needs no introduction. But could you possibly summarize why you've decided to award him the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize?
We actually feel that we are paying very close attention to Nobel's will. Nobel mentions that this should be for achievement in the preceding year, and this indeed is for achievements in the preceding years. And he mentions three criteria: fraternity between nations. I mean, Obama has done an awful lot for fraternity between nations. Reduction in standing armies. He has produced the vision of a nuclear-free world, and we are expecting very substantial arms control agreements. And the holding of peace congresses. The modern version, of course, is international diplomacy. So we feel that this decision is very closely based on Alfred Nobel's will.
And so can you go into some more details about what you think that President Obama has done for these important contributions to peace as you've just described?
Well, we feel that he has basically produced a new international climate. The emphasis is again on the UN and multilateral institutions. The emphasis is on dialogue and negotiations. The emphasis is on arms control and disarmament, the zero option. The emphasis is on a new climate agreement with the United States being a very important partner. And the emphasis is on democracy and human rights. So he has produced an entirely new international climate.
And so you stressed the word emphasis there, but what have been the concrete achievements that have been made?
Well, first of all, changing the international climate and setting a new international order is a concrete achievement. And we feel that these ideals, which he is the primary spokesman of, these are the ideals of the Norwegian Nobel Committee. And we have been trying to support these ideals for 108 years. And when Obama then comes along and we have this wonderful spokesman for these ideals, we feel he has achieved something by changing the tone and the climate, and we want to give him whatever support he can get in producing concrete results based on these ideals.
And President Obama's been in office for less than 9 months. Has the Peace Prize ever been awarded to a leader of a country that's been so early in their term of office?
Well, first of all, we are actually paying very close attention to Nobel's will because he mentions the preceding year, and this is almost impossible for most prizes, but this year it has been possible. There have been similar examples. I mean, Oscar Arias, for instance, when he produced a peace plan for Central America, he did receive the prize in the very same year. I mean, just a few months after the peace plan had been produced. So this is not without precedent, but Obama is a very special person in his own right.
And you know, he's clearly someone who's making inroads into the political process and political climate, as you've described. Is there any concern that awarding the prize to President Obama so early on into his term is going to push quite high expectations onto someone who's already under high expectations both internationally and domestically?
Yes, of course. I mean, we have gone over these arguments. They are very obvious. I think we all recognize the strong arguments in Obama's favor, and they are the obvious counter-arguments that we should wait. But then he comes along, he presents this wonderful agenda, and we feel that we should support him. But we have been over these arguments many times. Obviously. And of course, he can do all kinds of things in his remaining term in office. But we always stand by our laureates. I mean, he should not be afraid that suddenly one day he will do something and the Nobel Committee will come out and denounce him. We never do. We never denounce our laureates. We always stand by them.
Okay. And you've mentioned all these peaceful efforts so far, but one thing that's been noted, of course, is that President Obama is leader of a country that's currently at war with two countries. And that's something that people have been criticizing openly. How do you respond to those criticisms?
Of course, a superpower like the United States is bound to be involved in all kinds of complex situations. We are not telling him that he should do this or that in these concrete situations, whether we're talking about Afghanistan or Pakistan. But we are pointing to the importance of the overall principles which he stands for. And I'm sure that these principles are also relevant for the situations in these countries. And then we'll see what he comes up with.
So with all that slightly complex issues in mind, is there a specific message that the Peace Prize Committee wants to transmit by awarding this Peace Prize to President Obama?
Well, the message in a deeper sense is what I said, that he follows very strongly the ideals of the Norwegian Nobel Committee through 108 years. So we give him this for what he has done, and we give him this to encourage him to continue his very important work along these lines. There will undoubtedly be failures. And not only successes, but this is in the nature of business for any American president.
You mentioned encouragement there, so is there any hope for what this Peace Prize can achieve?
Well, we hope it can influence the world in his direction. We have rather realistic expectations. We do not think the Nobel Peace Prize is a magic wand. It cannot transform the world, but maybe it can represent some sort of encouragement and can bring added support to his cause.
And finally, have you managed to get a chance to speak to President Obama?
Not yet. We are working on it, but we have had a preliminary reaction from him, and he's very grateful for what has been done.
Geir Lundestad, thank you very much for discussing this with us.
Thank you.